Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fin Factor. I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
This is episode number 276. We're here joined at SAP Center with CMO, Mr. Doug Bentz. Doug, thank you so much for helping us out today.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you guys.
We'll be talking about SAP Center and the reimagining in just a bit. So Doug, this reimagining, and it's not the word renovation, I'll have you comment on that in just a bit here, but that's going to take several years and over multiple phases. So what exactly gets kind of prioritized first in those phases?
Yeah, so I'll start with the reimagination, which has become a very popular word in our office. So when we start to think about this, a renovation is the structure, it's the four walls, but I think you'd agree everything about this place is about the experience, not actually the structure of the arena. So if we were just going to make it a renovation, all we'd be doing is creating new spaces. But I think it was important for us to think about then how we actually reimagine the experiences that happen with the arena. Because again, we're redefining an existing building. But if we rethink all the experiences, we can actually take it much more than just the structure itself. So that's really where the nexus of reimagination came from, and is actually the frame of kind of all the decisions we're making. Now, this is certainly going to be a multi-year project. I think it's a priority for us that we try to at least decrease the number of disturbances we make to our fans, to the arena schedule. So really trying to limit big construction projects to one summer that will be closed. So in that way, we're kind of trying to spread it over time. In terms of priority, it's maybe less priority. It's just a matter of like the construction schedule and what needs to be done first. We're starting at the ground floor because that's where really a lot of the foundation is. And so the arena level now, or the event level, which is not public, that's where we're going to build the Legends level. And so that's where we're going to start, and then basically move up from there level by level as we go on with construction. So again, less about which is more important, but more about how we build up from the bottom. Another important point on the arena level is that we're redoing the locker room, which clearly has an effect positive on the team. And what the team does obviously affects everything we do. So that's just some of the logic of kind of the why and the where we're starting.
Is that Legends level taking over something that's already down there?
So nothing, again, the arena level isn't necessarily fan facing. So nothing that you'd be aware of. Our offices are down there. There's some more like functional spaces. So it's not necessarily taken away from anywhere that fans or the public would know about. But clearly things like the offices, are gonna be basically relocated based on the construction.
So it's nothing that's public that you just said, but so that's creating more space, more public space down at that ground level.
Correct. I think again, strategically, what we want to do here is not just kind of put a new face on the arena. We want to try to make it better functionally. We want to create more social spaces. We want to be able to make it more utilized to today's needs rather than just kind of redo what's already here. So it is, I think what you said is perfect. I think we're trying to create more experiences, more spaces, more ways to actually enjoy the arena.
Cool. So my next question, and talking about, trying to get things done during the summertime, as you said, my question was actually worded if, but I'm going to say when the Sharks make playoffs, that shrinks just a little bit. So does that change your plans at all in terms of, you said not priority necessarily, but would that have an effect on the plans at all?
Yeah, I think it's becomes a fluid situation in that case, but we have people who are very much experts in construction that are kind of paid to deal with that. But I think we have a ton of contingencies and understand that we have to be flexible in some cases. But again, with the key tenet of reducing disturbances. And actually, while we're going to be closed 2 summers from now, we're actually starting some construction that won't necessarily create disturbances this summer. This space right here is going to be actually the new pro shop, so our team store. It's going to triple in size. You're going to have a lot more variety, a lot more ability to get new and exciting merchandise into the store and create a much more interesting experience, because right now we're one of the smallest actual team stores in the league. So while it's maybe not the level by level, we actually have some things coming as soon as this summer.
Awesome. Spoiler alert, actually, we're probably going to see some of those things a little bit later on. So keep watching for that. But Aaron, go ahead. I'll kick it back off to you.
Sure. I think one of the biggest complaints from most fans is the concourse level is just so crowded. In between periods, it is really hard to walk around. There's bathroom line. There's a line for food and beverage. There's lines for the store, like the mini pop-up stores. There's all kinds of stuff. So what design choices are being made to kind of improve that flow for the games?
Yeah. So better flow, you've probably seen on the website.
Yeah.
Better flow is maybe the second most popular term for us behind reimagination, because that is really an important fact. Like, we know that, we hear that, we understand that. I experienced that actually being an employee here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a couple things. I think one is creating more entrances. So getting in and out, again, becomes even more easier. So we spread out the flow of people. I think it's creating, different spaces where people go who aren't on the concourse. So the Legends level, for example, I think we also have plans to find ways to take people off the concourse who are maybe in the upper level. And then it's basically thinking about how people are flowing through, F&B options where it's more walkthroughs versus lines. I think the store here, again, is another way where you can get more people through so there's not lines. So, the structure is the structure, so we can't necessarily change from having one concourse. But if we spread people out through entrances, through new spaces, through choices that we make with concessions and things like that, we can actually spread it out, and are very bullish on the fact that we can free up more space in the concourse. So it's a more comfortable experience.
So, looking behind us, you can kind of see there's a lot of space between upper and lower here, especially the penthouse. I don't know how wide that shot is, but
yeah.
Are we talking about adding another level kind of in between these two, so that kind of gets the upper level of their own kind of concourses? And
yeah, so openly there's a lot of plans, and again, we're going level by level. So I think as we build up, we kind of have to make choices within kind of the parameters of the money we have, the time we have. But I think you are on the right track, where if we can not necessarily create a whole new level like all the way around, but even just entry points off the concourse to different parts of the arena, especially the upper bowl, that should be able to take a lot of flow off of the concourse. So you're on the right track.
That's great. I was just at the Colorado Avalanche game where the Sharks were playing right before the break. I also went to Seattle earlier, so I've seen those two different arenas. Is there any other kind of arenas that you've been looking at that kind of get ideas from?
Yeah, so I think between our architect, who's actually designed several arenas, done several of these reimaginations, and then we have staff who've probably visited 40 or 50 different arenas. I think we're trying to compile all the information and not necessarily pick one to say, hey, this is what we want to replicate, but how can we actually take best practices and then take those, and with our strategy and what we want to do here, like how we build those in. So between visioning sessions and going through different plans and having different presentations, we've spent a ton of time going through, what is possible and what does that mean for our fans? Because I think we try to put ourselves in the shoes of the fans when we make these choices. And so how can we bring the best here to maintain our brand, maintain the experience of the tank, but still, take it to another level.
How many meetings do you think you've roughly had?
I don't even want to think. And we're, we are barely in the first period of this project. So, but for us, this is our home. This is such an important project. This is going to affect so many fans. This affects the city of San Jose. This affects the community. So it's something that we want to get right and is a priority project, clearly. But the amount of time we spend is going to pay dividends for years to come. So it's an important. We understand our importance of doing that.
So being a California team, we have some pretty nice weather. Standing up today, but normally we have pretty good weather almost year round. You guys are going to be building some outdoor spaces as well as indoor.
Correct.
So you're kind of expanding outside.
Correct.
How's that going to kind of look like and play into game days?
So I think maybe the rain notwithstanding.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to take the experience that we have here in SAP Center and expand it out to really, again, make it more of a community thing versus just the arena. So I think the indoor outdoor spaces that exist here are, just think about, you've been here a while. We used to have landings that you could go out to in between periods, and that was just kind of a simple landing where some people could could smoke,
Right.
right? Think about that on a much larger level, where it's somewhere that you can hang out between periods, but somewhere also you could come early for the game, have food, hang out in the sun, meet up with friends. I think, again, trying to take the community and bring it kind of inside and make it a social experience. You know, there's certainly people who come here who go through the doors, go to their seats, watch the game, want to sit down. Just, it's all about the game. But we're finding, especially, you know, over the past 2 or 3 years, our fan base is getting much younger. We're attracting a whole new crowd. Thanks to Macklin, who continues to do great things for my job on a daily basis. But they're more interested in meeting up with their friends and hanging out and feeling the energy, but not necessarily being in their seat all game. So creating these outdoor spaces takes the best of what we have here in San Jose and brings it into the arena. And I think on top of that, as you've probably seen with some of our work with Sharks Way, with some of the cleanup in the park, like how we even extend further into downtown San Jose and create more of that environment around the arena, I think is another key part of this. That really, you know, creates new fans because they kind of see it, they can experience it. Even if you aren't coming to the game, like you can feel what it's like to be a Sharks fan. But then even like your day becomes a big celebration for 7 hours versus just coming to the game for 3. You know what I mean? So these are all considerations which really, we love our fans. We have the best fans. The energy and excitement, especially as you can see, like from this year, the tank has that energy again. How do we take that and bring that energy to the whole city and, you know, paint the town teal and get everyone going here?
Yeah, it sounds like that would be a great experience, kind of getting more sprawl. And even then, as you were saying earlier, with the amount of congestion and whatnot, the more you sprawl, the less there's that congestion that's inside the tank as well. But people can still have that experience, not being
100%.
inside.
Yeah, it's giving people options about how you want to experience a game, how you want to experience the Sharks. You know, there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of different preferences, there's a lot of personalities that go into our fan base, and being a club that kind of likes to welcome everyone, we got to give options to everyone.
Yes, the old hashtag Teal Together.
That's right.
So there you go.
That's right. Marketing person.
Getting there. Did you have any other ones to pop off there?
No, just real quick, a follow up on that. The walk over here that kind of goes towards San Pedro Market. Is there any headway on that of changing things around? Because I know there were some big plans for that.
Yeah, so even within the last month, you'll see we painted about 100 sharks on the sidewalks to kind of like distinguish the path from here to there. We have, you know, a lot of art projects that are either in the works or coming to kind of, again, make that feel like a very unique, you know, path and destination. You know, we have the parking lot that'll open up, you know, in the coming months there, that we may have some other things around that in terms of retail or things that you can kind of experience on your way to the arena. So yeah, we are working very closely and very well with the city, and I think everyone's bought into, you know, really expanding the Sharks' influence outside of just this arena.
Great.
Yeah.
Jonathan Becker said that the website's going to be updated monthly to kind of show fans what's happening. How much transparency really do you think is going into that?
Yeah, I think maybe a couple of things. I think in terms of transparency, I think openly, I think this is a dynamic design process.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't all going to happen overnight. There's some things that we don't know are going to happen 2 years from now. There's some things that we continue to refine as we get input on a weekly basis. So I think maybe what seems like a lack of transparency, I think openly, I think is kind of a fluid design process. Now, in terms of the website, I mean, for me, as soon as we have something that's interesting, even if it's not exact, I'm like, hey, let's get it on the website, just give people a feel of where we're thinking, what the direction is. So I think our intent is just, as things are either finalized or we have a solid direction, that we're going to add it, and we want to share that. Like we want to share all of this.
Yeah.
We just have to manage, like, hey, if we put this out and it doesn't exactly go that, it's just kind of like managing the expectations of our guests and our fans of knowing this is the direction we're going without trying to overpromise something. So I think it's a fine line there.
The Teal Reimagination, does that signal maybe a change to the Sharks' overall identity kind of going forward? I know, like we talked about Teal Together, for instance, right? That was something that was front and center when that was the one that was out there. So Teal Reimagination, is there more to it than just just the tank? Is this more of a branding thing than just SAP?
Yeah, I think. Well, I'll say this. I think the Teal Reimagination is really an important thing that the whole organization is anchored on. Again, it's a multi-year project. It affects so many people, so it's hard to separate that from really anything we do. I'd say that's probably not a driving force of any kind of evolution of our brand, which nothing is eminent now. But I think if you look at the team on the ice, if you look at kind of how our fan base is expanding, changing, and really, it is kind of this renewal of the team. I think that's more what's going to potentially drive a change. I mean, Teal Together is still there. I think that's at the core of who we are and who we want to be as an organization, and also how we want to represent all of our fans. But I think this renewal and almost this turning over is probably worth something that goes further than just what's on the ice.
Gotcha.
Cool. We've been talking a lot about the Sharks. You work for the Sharks. We are a Sharks show. But this arena is not just used for the Sharks. It's also used a lot for concerts and other things.
Yeah.
How are the entertainment upgrades that are going to be coming going to change the caliber of acts that SAP is going to be able to attract?
Yeah, that's a great question. My group's actually responsible for booking all those events, so I'm actually very closely closely engaged with this question. So I think there's a couple of things. It's how can we create a better experience for actually the artists?
Mm-hmm.
So how can we create better green rooms? How can we create better entrances? How can we create just a better experience from the time they hit the loading dock to the time they leave? So all of those things are definitely being considered in this. I think it's, how these new spaces, again, social spaces, whether it be more of the Legends level, whether it be, as we go and in time, the entire arena, like how can we create spaces that are going to be influential for people to come? And if more people come, we're another arrow to try to get better shows. So, and the fact that we are kind of reimagining everything, I think is a good selling point to artists, that when something is new, it attracts them. And I think getting back to that and then creating a great experience when they're here is going to really pay off in terms of getting, a lot of great acts coming through.
Cool. PayPal Park is right down the street. That's where the Earthquakes play. They just announced that they're going to be able to do 13 musical events now per year. Is that going to affect SAP at all? With kind of now you're competing with another venue.
Yeah.
Competition's kind of a good thing, as Greer does with his team, right?
Yeah.
To try and create that. Is that going to push you guys to kind of do more?
Yeah, so I don't, we day in and day out want to provide great entertainment to San Jose, independent of the competition. Now, I'll say again, without getting maybe too deep into the intricacies of the entertainment business, people generally choose to play an arena inside or play outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Outdoors usually consists of like an amphitheater or a stadium. So you kind of have somewhat differences in capacities. But there's not a lot of acts who will play an arena indoors and then go out to a soccer stadium. So it's a little bit of apples to oranges.
Okay.
And ultimately, if PayPal can help us brand San Jose as an entertainment destination.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the city did a great job here for the Super Bowl. Like, if we continue to brand this and make this a destination for entertainment, I think that only helps everyone kind of bring people in, and make it a little less about competition and more about, hey, you're a place you have to play. You have to play San Jose. I think that helps us more.
Kind of a follow-up to that actually is the San Jose wants to make kind of an arena district area. I think it's south of here, correct? Do you have any insight of what that even is going to entail or kind of look like, or any foresight for what's to be coming?
Yeah, I think, again, very early innings. I think this is very much part of a bigger partnership with San Jose. So I think premature to talk really about details. I mean, I could bring in our head of government relations to come in and probably talk a little bit more about that if we want to as we get through there. But I think it's the same general premise. I think us, the Sharks, and the city of San Jose understand the power of our brand and understand the power that we can really affect people, whether it's hockey or entertainment. And so making this, again, a whole entertainment district that draws people here, makes us a destination, is only going to help everyone. And we're totally bought into that. I think just as time goes, what that actually means and what those details are, again, probably out of my lane a bit, but definitely is coming.
Cool. So as we've been talking here, I'm sure super producer Jason has been putting up some of the renderings, the images and whatnot. One of those renderings was of the outside of SAP Center, and it actually kind of looked like a shark tank, right? And who was it? Was it Randy talking about the boy aquarium or whatever like that? So, I mean, is it on the outside? We talked about a lot of things that are happening inside. Is the outside going to get kind of a bit of a makeover as well?
Yeah, I think this is where we go, where the renderings may be representative or the direction we want to go, and for a lot of reasons, whether it be construction, logistics, et cetera, may not happen. I think again, how we take the energy and excitement inside the arena and take it outside, the building can definitely do that. Now, will it actually look like a shark tank? I think that's maybe to come. I'd love that. Even just if you look at that rendering, having the shark tank turn teal, again, is a big thing. When you're walking down the street and you see teal, like that just brings a certain amount of excitement. I'm getting actually goosebumps right now just talking about it. So I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, I think those are things we want to do. Does it exactly look like the rendering? Maybe, maybe not. But I think
that looks really good.
That's definitely the direction we want to take.
All right. Anything else?
Cool. No, just those renderings can't take them at face value because they could change over time. But they look amazing. I like how, for one, I think it was looks like a luxury box on the ice level, similar to what the Chase Center does for Warriors games.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's where the inspiration kind of came from, because it looks really cool with the waves on the ceiling coming down, which is where the stairs are.
Yeah.
And then
that's the first line lounge, which very much similar to Tech CU and Fireball Cove, where you have that opening right at the end there.
That's favorite spots to watch right there.
That's something, again, how we kind of break down the wall between the team, the players, the play on the ice, and kind of create that elevated experience is what we're trying to do.
And I also looked like it was way up high, and it had windows looking out, not the glass cubes that are currently there, from the 90s. So those you can't really see through. I'm wondering, are there plans? I know there's plans, and I don't know if they're going to be definite. Are we going to be putting windows in so you actually have a view looking out?
Again, that's probably well premature. Again, given that we're working up, but I like where your head's at.
It's cool. I really liked it. Yeah. You could see, from up there, you're going to be able to see a great skyline view of the whole city. So cool.
Again, I think that's a perfect example of this idea of how we connect the outside of the inside, the community to the arena. Windows could be a simple way to do that. And if it's not there, how we potentially create more ways to see in and out.
Yeah.
And then even on the concourse, you probably saw some renderings. We're trying to find ways where you can see into the bowl with being on the concourse. So again, just kind of clear kind of lanes and visions. And so you can kind of feel part of it wherever you're at.
And the goal is to keep the capacity roughly the same, not lose or gain not lose any seats.
Yeah, generally the same. Again, with the seats, our plan is to actually replace all the seats.
Oh, wow.
So all new seats within the bowl, I think over time on kind of like a staggered basis. But even as simple as that, like having new seats is going to be a major upgrade for everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, keeping the capacity so we can make sure that we can service the same amount of fans for every event is again another important thing for us.
Awesome.
Excellent. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a little break. We're going to bring some products in that are new to the store and some of the things that you're going to be seeing giveaways when you come to the rest of the games here at SAP Center. And thanks to the power of video editing, here we are with all the products here on the table in front of us now. Some of these are giveaways.
Yep.
Some of these are from the store or going to be in the store.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and start on the end closest to you.
Yeah.
And why don't you tell us what we got there?
So maybe I'll just preface this with 15 home games left.
Yes.
So outside of us fighting for a playoff spot, which is maybe the most exciting thing, we got 11 of the 15 have some kind of theme giveaway, some kind of activation. So a lot to look forward to here after the break. And then you throw in a date with Connor Bedard and Connor McDavid. We got 13 of 15 really solid games. And I'll just say that ticket sales have been extremely strong, so people should select the games that they want now, so they don't have to miss out. But So this 28th, so February 28th, so our second game back after the break is Educator Appreciation Day, or night, I should say. This puffy book bag,
That's cool.
which I'll let you hold that.
Yeah.
The puffy is in, especially with the kids. So a book bag that they can take and use at school has put very, very popular so far from what we've heard. So
Nice bag.
that will be February 28th, Educators Appreciation. And then again, maybe the same vein of puffiness. Puffy meets kind of fashion here. This is our Woman of Teal item. So the Sharks branded puffy fashion hat. Again, very popular so far from everyone that's seen it. So this will be March 7th for the Woman of Teal night. And then finally here, we have for our Barbie night on March 21st. We're actually going to have 3 colors. Two are pictured here for these crossbody bags. Cool. So the Sharks crossbody bag we did 2 years ago continues to be very popular in my household.
Nice.
For the fourth grader. So again, trying to create giveaways that are really going to continue to expand our audience. Especially families and women are seeing just a huge spike in new fans right now. So trying to again have these cultural intersections between the Sharks and things that exist outside that are popular to just bring more and more fans here to the tank. So those are the 3 giveaways I have. Then we have fan appreciation, obviously, at the end of the season. And then on April 4th, we have Marvel Superhero Night featuring Spider-Man, which giveaway not here, but the giveaway is going to feature our friend Macklin. So that will be a very popular one.
Awesome.
So merch.
You want to start?
Go ahead.
We'll go on in sequential order here. So Salty Crew. So we're doing a line with Salty Crew, which is the popular brand. This is the hoodie. We're going to release this at the store on February 26th. So the first game back, we'll introduce this. And then this is a collaboration with Shoe Palace.
That's a nice
So that
jacket.
and the hats featuring, the old Shark Bite logo.
Not just the old Shark Bite logo, the old Shark logo too. This thing is fantastic.
The ever popular one. And I still get emails on a weekly basis about why can't we have the whole back. So this is a collaboration with Shoe Palace. This is going to launch at the game on February 28th.
Okay.
We have the hats, we have the jacket, we have a couple other items with Shoe Palace. Again, playing off that nostalgia and really that pop culture vibe.
Love those.
I love these hats, by the way. I have to talk about this real quick because this pinstriping is amazing. I really love how it's kind of really got that old vibe back to it, And then again, just the all black is just
like
amazing.
The orange bill on the bottom too. Gives a little
You can see a little pop of color. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
And then this is a special jacket for Women of Teal. So again, that March 7th date that will be released. It's the Pro Standard is the brand, which again is sold really well for us at the store. So again, just an effort to obviously we have
bedazzled there.
Macklin jerseys. We have everything teal, but again, how do we kind of create more intersections for people who like fashion and kind of see the Sharks kind of cultural relevance? So a lot here. Back to here, our last alumni night is March 1st. So it'll be the last time you see Heritage 2.0. We're going to have a small batch. We're almost out of 2.0. We're going to have a small batch at the game then. So if you haven't gotten Heritage 2.0 jersey and you want one, make sure you get to the game on March 1st. And we actually added Jonathan Cheechoo to the lineup for that game. So it should be fun.
Cheech.
Yeah.
Very cool. And again, this is only a smaller sample of the newer products that we'll be seeing.
Yeah, this is just a look here, but we're going to continue to release new products throughout the season. We still have 2.5 months, so there's going to be a lot of new things still. So check obviously at the game, at the store, or sharksproshop.com for all your merch needs.
Awesome. This all looks fantastic. I'm probably going to be grabbing one of those hats I don't know if I like the pinstriping better or not, but they are both fantastic. And again, please make sure that you show up to the games. They're giving stuff away, guys. So you said 11 of the 15 games?
So 11 of the, not all 11 have giveaways,
Okay.
but they have some kind of theme or thematic,
okay, yeah.
an activation that kind of makes the game a little bit different.
Very cool. Yeah, either way, it's fantastic. It's always a fun time coming out to a Sharks game, especially in these most recent seasons here. Macklin has been absolutely destroying it. I don't know if you guys have been watching, by the way, the Team Canada just had a game today, and they almost lost it, but they came back, tied it up, ended up winning in overtime. I don't mean to do any spoilers, but by now, the time you see this, it's already done and over with. So Macklin is just playing on another level.
3 more points today.
3 more points.
Three more points.
He's currently second, I think, in points.
Yeah, behind
for all the
McDavid, who
Olympics.
set the record.
Right.
And he's tied for the most goals for a Team Canada player with the NHL playing in the Olympics. So I mean, it's hard to explain really what he's doing, and he's making it normal.
Yeah.
But what he's doing is really incredible.
It is absolutely unreal, and you need to come to the tank and watch him play because you couldn't go to Italy. So San Jose, much closer. Come check him out. Come check out the merch, come check out the giveaways and the theme nights and whatnot. Again, Doug, thank you so much for your time. Do appreciate you giving us your time here today. I know you're a very busy guy. I guess that does it for episode 276. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. For super producer Jason, I'm Paul.
I'm Aaron.
And we will see you guys
Next week.
here at the tank when you come and check it out. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live streams on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts. You'll also find our exclusive merchandise to help support our show.